Hi, welcome to episode 10. This is the final online episode of A Guitarist's Guide to Improvising with Knowledge. I'm Greg Studley, author of the book, A Guitarist's Guide to Improvising with Knowledge, and developer of the website improvisingwithknowledge.com. We will be covering some very guitar-specific things in this final episode, which is going to include slides and bends. A reminder, just like every other episode we've done, you can grab the music online. Just go to improvisingwithknowledge.com, go to the downloads page, and you can download PDF files of the music. So we're first going to cover slides, then move on to bends, and finally, how you can incorporate these into your improvisation. Be sure at this point you have knowledge of everything that we covered in the previous 9 episodes. That will include E string notes, A string notes, 2 major pentatonic scales, 2 minor pentatonic scales, 2 major arpeggios, 2 minor arpeggios, picking eighth notes, and how to solo over chord progressions. It's a lot of information, and if you're not familiar with it, it's best to go back to the previous episodes and check it all out. We're going to start off with slides. Now there are 2 main types of slides that guitarists will use. One of them is called a legato slide, and the other is called a shift slide. We're first going to talk about the legato slide. It's a very simple slide to use and usually works better over smaller distances. You would want to play a note and then slide your finger up the string or down the string to a fret that is just probably a few frets away. So for example, if I wanted to slide from A to B, I could play the note A and just slide it up to B. Similarly, I could work it backwards and I could play B and slide my way down to A. The main thing about the legato slide is that you do not pick the second note. You should only pick the first note and then slide your finger up or down to the next note. These are best used for sliding either within a scale shape or connecting into another scale shape. So you don't have to stop playing, but you can kind of slide your way into another scale shape. I'll show you how this is used using a short chord progression that just goes from B to F sharp. So we're going to start off in 4th position for a B major pentatonic scale. We're going to put a slide within that scale. Then we're going to slide into the F sharp major pentatonic scale. And once we're in the F sharp major pentatonic scale, we'll actually apply another slide. So there's going to be 3 legato slides in this very short example. Now we're going to work on shift slides. These are a little different and best used over long distances. With a shift slide, you'll play the first note, slide up or down the string, and then play the note that you're sliding to upon arriving. The reason why these are better over long distances is because the further you slide, the harder it is for the string to keep resonating all the time. So if you're sliding a long distance, you can get a very strong note by picking that note upon arriving. For example, if I am sliding from A to D, it is best to pick the note A, slide up, and then pick D to get a really strong sound upon arriving there. So, I'm going to show you how you can use this using a D minor and A minor as your 2 chords. We'll be starting off in 10th position with D minor pentatonic. We'll play a bit of the pentatonic scale. As we go to A minor, we're going to shift slide down the neck into 5th position for A minor. And then towards the end of the A minor, we're going to shift slide all the way up into 12th position as if we were to continue playing our A minor pentatonic scale. Now it's very important to know what these 2 different types of slides are going to look like in your notation. Whenever you do a legato slide, you'll see the slash between the 2 numbers, or the 2 notes if you're looking at the notation, and you'll see a curved line that accompanies it. However, whenever you're dealing with a shift slide, you will not see the curved line. You'll only have the slash between the 2 numbers. And that's how, when looking at the notation, you can tell the difference. We're going to move on now to the bends. So, bending is something very unique to the guitar. It's one of the great reasons I love to play this thing. and it gives such a unique sound. So the full bends are the types of bends that are best used with the pentatonic scale. What a full bend is taking a note and bending it up a full step. Now, in guitar language, that could be thought of as the equivalent of 2 frets. So if you want to put in full bends, it's like taking a note and bending it up 2 frets worth. If you ever want to test out just to see what that is going to sound like, you could, for example, play a note, play the note that is 2 frets higher, and then see if you can make the bend sound the same. If you can reach the same note, you know you have bent up the equivalent of a full step, or have done a full bend. Here are the diagrams of the 2 pentatonic scales that we've covered so far. These pentatonic scales now also, though, have the bends written in. You'll notice that there are no roots written into these scale shapes. That's because whether these are major pentatonic scales or minor pentatonic scales, the bends actually will remain the same. So it doesn't actually matter whether you're thinking of these scales as you see them as major or minor, the bends are uniform for the 2 of them. Bends in music are notated as curved lines with arrows, and these full bends will always contain the word full to show how much you're bending the note. We're going to do this as a full bend exercise in G sharp minor to really get you used to it. Our hand is going to start off with the lower hand position, G sharp minor. That's going to put our hand here into 4th position. Then we'll move into the higher hand position, which is 11th position. We'll be playing a few notes of the pentatonic scale and then some bends within each hand position. A big reminder is, even though the 4th finger may be pretty weak for bending, it's definitely good to strengthen it up and use it. Try not to replace the 3rd finger instead of the 4th finger for your bends. Another thing that can help out your bends is to use all available fingers behind the one that is bending. So if you're trying to bend, for example, with the 4th finger, actually use all 4 fingers on your string to bend it rather than just using the 4th finger. For acoustic players, bends are not always so easy on acoustic guitars, and you may want to substitute slides instead. So anytime you have a full bend, you can just slide up 2 frets and you'll get pretty much the same sound. Now there's a few other things that you can do with your bends other than just bending your strings up. You can put a release in after your bend. That is to simply bring the bent note back down to its original position. So if I was to bend up a note and leave it there, you'd have that sound. But you could also bend up and then release. So this way you can have the sound of the note returning back to where it was. You can also do a pre-bend. And a pre-bend is when you actually bend the string before even playing it. Therefore, you're playing the note that is the full step up. Pre-bends are often followed by releases, so it actually gives the sound of a note that is only bending down. Gives a pretty interesting sound. You bend the note ahead of time, play it, and then usually release it. So you now have bends that can move in many different directions. You can take a note and bend it up with a full bend. You can have it come up and back down with a bend and a release. And you can pre-bend a note to make it actually only bend back down. These pre-bends are notated as straight lines with an arrow going up to let you know that it is a pre-bend, and releases are notated as curved lines with an arrow moving downward to let you know the note should move back down. We're going to take an exercise now that'll work on all of these different pre-bends by playing this in E major. We'll be working on pre-bends, full bends, and releases. In E major, we'll be playing the E major pentatonic scale, first and fourth position, adding in some bends and pentatonic scale notes. Then we'll be playing it in ninth position, again adding in different bends and notes of the pentatonic scale. We'll be starting in fourth position. We're now going to take these slides and bends that we've just worked on and show you how you can use them inside of a solo. Now there's plenty of guitar solos that you may have played already that have slides and bends. This one's going to try and incorporate a lot of the stuff we just did to show you how you can use pre-bends, bends and releases, full bends, and really put all of it in. We're going to put this over a chord progression that is E flat, C minor, A flat, and B flat, with each chord having a duration of 2 measures. Now, every other time we've put a chord progression in front of you, we've actually taken the preparatory steps. Step 1 being to play the arpeggios, step 2 being to play the scales. That's going to be up to you on this one. We're not going to include it in the video, but it's highly recommended that you play through the arpeggios of this chord progression, first lower shapes, then higher shapes, and also to play through the scales of the chord progression, using first lower shapes, then higher shapes. Here we're going to show you the solo. It may be a little quick. If it is, feel free to download it off of the website. You can see all of it in front of you. Work on it whatever speed you need. I hope this and all the other Improvising with Knowledge videos have helped you to really improve your improvisational skills by use of pentatonic scales, arpeggios, now slides and bends being included as well. Please continue to visit the website, improvisingwithknowledge.com. There you can grab any video that we played. You can grab all of the downloads from the videos and practice the music as you want. You can also play along with all the MP3 jam tracks that we now have available on the website. You can still sign up for the newsletter, find out if we're going to be doing any more upcoming videos with other topics, and find out when the book is going to be released. It should be out in late 2013, depending on when you're watching this video. You may already be able to get it. If you go to the website, improvisingwithknowledge.com, there will certainly be information about how you can get the book. The book is going to contain much more than what we've done in these videos, including 5 pentatonic shapes for both major and minor chords, 5 major and minor arpeggios, syncopated rhythms, playing triplets, and much more.